Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Intuitive Insights. My name is Dr. Yolanda Dukes, and I have an amazing guest who's here with me today. I want to introduce you to Dr. David Shareef. He is a magician and a mentalist, and he's here to tell us all about his intuitive business in the magic business. Hi, David. Welcome.
Hello, doctors. How you doing? How you doing? You have to excuse me. When I laugh, at the same time, it causes me to cry because of the brain damage from the stroke. But so if I'm laughing and crying at the same time, it's the
so we have to explain to the audience what we already know. Dr. Shareef had a mild stroke 2 weeks ago. And he's doing wonderful. Yeah. He is recovering, and we just send those healing vibrations his way for him, okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
So tell us, how did you get into the magic business, David?
Well, when I was 5 years old, Muhammad Ali came to my school, and he did magic for my classroom and I, and we were blown away by it. But I was so blown away that I asked my father to purchase me a magic set, and the rest is history, So I've been doing magic since.
Since you were 5 years old, that's amazing. Yeah. Where did you grow up? What school was it?
The University of Islam, Sister Clara Muhammad, the Nation of Islam's. They had their own school. Well, they still do, but we had our own school, and he would often visit the school.
Oh, wow.
Because he was a minister at the time, so yeah, he would often visit.
So you started doing this when you were 5 years old. Did you continue other avenues of education, or was it only magic for you?
Well, wow, I have degrees all across the board. I have degrees in art, BA in art. I have degrees in electronics engineering. I was a school teacher, so I have a degree in early childhood development, and then psychology. So
that is awesome. Did you also go to University of Sedona?
Yes. University of Sedona. My PhD is from University of Sedona and Arizona State University.
Oh, awesome. So you have 2 PhDs.
I'm working on my 3rd.
Oh my goodness gracious! So you are really a magic metaphysician, aren't you?
Yes. More than you understand. I'm working studying. If you really want to understand metaphysics, then you should study the Book of Timothy.
The Book of
Timothy and the Kabbalah.
Okay, the Kabbalah, I understand, but tell me, I've never even heard of the Book of Timothy, so share with me. I love new knowledge.
Yeah, well, the Book of Timothy is supposed to be the actual word of Jesus. And in the Book of Timothy, he actually explains how he was able to do what he did. So it's it's an ongoing study, but my study right now is the Book of Timothy, and it's you can read it and find it online. I don't know if it was cannibalized, but made canon. But the Book of Timothy is the book you want to learn if you want to learn real magic.
Really? Well, yeah. Now. So what you're saying from that research is that some of the miracles that Jesus performed were indeed
explained in the Book of Timothy.
Wow. Have you been able to
and it reads like I'm sorry?
Have you recreated anything from the Book of Timothy?
Well, I'm right now I'm learning to decipher the word, but it's very difficult. It's not laid out simply, but he said that once you learn the word from the Book of Timothy, you decipher the word, then death won't affect you. You'll be able to recreate the miracles that he did, and so on and so forth. So my research is basically how that word works. For example, the word we use all the time, abracadabra.
Yes.
Do you know what that means?
Oh, yes, yes. I speak, what is it?
What I create.
Yes, yes, yes. I create as I speak, or I create what I speak.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but me being a magician, that word being so generic size, made generic now.
Oh, yeah.
Because all the little kids and all the bad magicians use it. Abracadabra. What's the word? Magic word. Abracadabra. And the little kids repeat it. So I use kum fire kum.
And why?
It's the same language, but it sounds so powerful. And you have to understand that real magic uses vibration.
Yes.
So it sounds powerful. Kum fire kum, and that is Arabic, and abracadabra is Aramaic. So I use kum fire kum. So people will say, "Wow, what was that? What does that mean?" Well, it just means abracadabra in a different language.
That is awesome.
I create as I speak, or what I speak.
So the Book of Timothy, where did this come from?
Just me doing research, on a deeper level. You have to understand, for people out there that doesn't understand what a PhD means. Mm-hmm. A PhD only means this. When you receive your master's, that means that you have received the highest level of learning that you can receive on a particular subject.
Yes.
PhD means that you are qualified to research that subject and add to it. So in psychology, for example, I'm trypophobic, and that means little holes make me, the word phobic means irrational fear, but little holes, and especially in skin, freaks me out. It just makes me itch all over. So that's a new term. And when I discovered I was trypophobic, when I was in 6th, 7th grade, that term didn't even exist. So it was a PhD that discovered the word trypophobic, or gave that a name, that situation. So PhD means to be able to research and add to a particular line of study. And I'm sorry?
I was going to say, and for those who don't understand, getting a PhD is never the end of the line. It is a search for knowledge. And that's just exactly what you're saying. You're talking about research, but it is an ongoing search for knowledge.
Yes. And well, you probably do know this, but the word PhD stands for philosopher of doctor.
Yes.
The word philosopher comes from the Greek word philos, which means love of knowledge.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yes, and that is what we do too. And that's why it is very feasible to get 2 and 3 PhDs as you have. Which I'm so proud of you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. And
this is part of my personal research, being able to reach out and get a response from other people that have gone forward, because you just taught me something incredible. Now I'm going to be researching the Book of Timothy to see, what I can decipher. Was this originally written in Aramaic?
Yes, the Book of Timothy is supposed to be Jesus' word, so it'll go back 2,500 years.
Okay.
So it was originally written in Aramaic, but you can find it online, and a lot of people that give on definition of what the word means and how to decipher it. Okay. So I know this sounds crazy, but I've been researching real magic.
Yes.
The word magic comes from the word magnetic.
Mm-hmm.
So when the earth has a magnetic field, our ancestors already knew this, and that's where the word magic comes from. The word magic comes from the word magnetic. So when you hear people saying a magnetic personality, they mean that person has a magnet or magic personality. The word magnetic, magnetism, put that off. There we go. The word magnetic means magic. I forgot my point, but at any rate, so when you hear the Earth has a magnetic field, or magnetic field rather, that is a magic field. The word that's not by accident.
Yes.
The word magnetic and magnetism means the same thing.
And none of the words are by accident. And I encourage anybody watching to get into the study of etymology. When you have a spiritual awakening, there are different avenues that people take. And part of my awakening was to study magic in the very beginning as well. And so I just find my niche. But studying magic lets you know at the very beginning that your words are very, very powerful. And yes, what you speak does come into reality.
That's right. And they haven't figured out what consciousness is yet. However, there is a growing consensus that, first of all, we all share the same consciousness. So I'm an individual and you're an individual. It's just illusion. We all share the same consciousness. And they are learning that consciousness reacts to the humans observing it, or our consciousness affects everything around us.
Yes.
A double split is an experiment. You know, I'm sure you've studied the double split experiment when you were working on your PhD. Because when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, come on, this can't be real." Yes,
it is very real. Yes.
And for anybody who doesn't know what the double split experiment is that light photons act as a particle until it's observed by a human, at which point our observing it turns it into a wave. So it can be a particle or wave depending on if it's being observed or not. So that's mind-boggling. And remember, atoms are just waves of energy, tiny, tiny, tiny waves of energy, and they become matter when they observe, or those two atoms or more rearrange themselves and become matter when they're observed by a person. So we have the power to change things just by observing them. Now, you can imagine what does the word mean? If you take certain letters and put them together, what are letters? They are symbols, signs of symbols, and
hieroglyphs.
Yes, they're hieroglyphs. So when you take those words, or remember, the word hieroglyph is a Greek word. Before that, it was called meduneta. But you take those words and you put them together, and what do? You spell. And that's what the word casting spells mean. So, you can, what's the word I'm looking for? You can put words together with those hieroglyphs that we call the alphabet and spell words. And that is not by accident. That is called spelling a word.
That is correct. And I believe that as well. That is where my research has taken me as well. And for the audience, our ancestors wrote in characters, and these characters bring to mind a mental picture. And one of the first mind-boggling things that I ever learned in philosophy, my philosophy teacher said, a thought is a thing. And it took me a really long time to really understand that thought is alive. It is vibrationally alive, and it is created the moment that you think it.
Everything you think is possible.
Yeah.
So we talk about traveling backwards in time. That means it's possible.
Yes.
We talk about traveling faster than light. That means it's possible. We haven't figured out how to do it, but everything that we think comes from the universe. We are very, very profound creations, beings, and everything we think is possible. So if I come up with an idea, I want to be able to travel backwards in time. Well, we may not be able to do it today, but that just because the fact that I thought it means that it's possible. Whenever I perform, my wife says, how do you even know you can do that? Well, I thought of it, So that's just one way of putting it,
So tell me, there's another part of what you do called a mentalist. Tell me about that.
Well, mentalism is basically, now this is the truth of the matter, mentalism is basically pretending you have psychic abilities.
Okay.
And being able to reproduce them by trickery, touch, writing, whatever the case may be, to use all these different senses to appear that you have a sixth sense.
Okay.
So that's what mentalism is. So you got a lot of guys that'll get away from pretending that they have a sixth sense by pretending they are achieving those things through psychological methods, but it's really the same.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, if you ever see me perform, you will swear that I'm the second coming, but it's all fake. I'm telling you, I'm really good at it, so it's all fake. I'm just letting you know.
I'm very interested to see a show. So are you're performing continually? Are you scheduled right now to perform?
No, I'm not going to perform until we shoot my TV show, but I'm still on the mend. I still don't have full use of my right side.
Okay.
So, because I did have a stroke and just a few weeks ago, the fact that I'm sitting here is a miracle that I'm able to talk.
Yeah.
Because I think 2 weeks ago, and my
but
words.
You knew that the power of your thought was going to help you to heal.
Yes.
That is amazing.
Yeah. And then I was speaking into existence. I'm going to make 100% recovery. Abracadabra.
It is done. So it is.
I am what that I am. Yes. And I'm learning a lot more about the ancients and in terms of the power that they had, and I'm trying to rediscover Jesus's power.
Yeah, definitely.
As crazy as it may sound, I'm trying to rediscover it.
No, it's not crazy at all, because I think that's what happens. I know for me, when I had that awakening experience, you come face to face with your belief systems. And I had to come face to face with what I felt and thought and what I was taught about the person that we so call as Jesus Christ. And those teachings had to come into mind, and I had to become deprogrammed to the stuff that's out there and be spoken to from a different perspective, that this was a man who had knowledge. What we called a miracle was his knowledge. And a miracle really and truly is just well-being. He knew. Yeah. He was okay.
And I want to discover his understanding. I mean, because I'm telling you, if you read the book of Timothy, it reads like The Secret.
Okay.
It reads like The Secret. It's like, whoa, it's mind-blowing. And I want to also discover the etymology of his power. What he learned, what he studied, So we know that he also went to India. He studied in Egypt and the mystery schools. And just so you know, Egypt was actually a satellite country of Atlantis. And we discovered where Atlantis is now.
Okay. And where's that?
It's in Africa, North Africa.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I saw something. Okay, yes. I don't know if we're talking about the exact same spot, but my research has led me there as well. It's like we need to pick up our past. It's not just about him or a place, but it belongs to us. We are those ancestors coming back to reclaim that knowledge. Yeah,
we have a lot of learning to do.
Yes, we do.
Relearning. Yeah. How they were able to move those stones. I have a theory on how they were able to. Now, I know this is going to sound crazy, but I'm actually taking a caravan or what do you call that? When you go on a safari or whatever. But I'm taking one to research Bigfoot.
Oh, that's awesome. No,
Yeah.
no, I have
Yeah.
complete belief just because I haven't seen one. There has since the
Right.
70s, there have been plenty of people that have heard them called out. They've got
Well,
the
before
sandwich
that,
guy. Mhm.
right. Now, for example, do you know what the last or the last few great discoveries were?
Tell me. Of
It
Bigfoot
was no, it
or
wasn't Bigfoot.
archaeological? What are we talking about?
Yeah, well, we were talking about mythological beasts. The movie King Kong was actually written because the gorilla was thought to be a mythological beast.
Yes.
So they discovered King Kong, or in the Congo, and he was a larger chimp, and they didn't believe that it was actually one that big. So when he was discovered in the 1890s, at that point, nobody thought that it was real. So there are still animals out there that are considered to be mythological that are real.
Yes.
So at some point after we do the Bigfoot, I take them on, the safari or whatever you want to call it,
So
for Bigfoot.
I just want to get something for clarity here.
Yeah.
Your trip to go and investigate Bigfoot, are you going off of any of Todd Standing's research?
I'm working in tandem with the Bigfoot Society.
Okay.
And
have you seen the pictures and the videos that Todd Standing has provided? He
is not liked in the Bigfoot community, believe it or not. So okay. They think that a lot of the things he do is fake. So what we're doing is we're going off of what we believe he eats. Cryptozoologist and ape doctor or ape scientist, we're going to follow their lead. So I'm raising the money and putting the team together for that, so wish me luck. Now, I'm saying that to say that after that, down the line, maybe 4 or 5 years down the line, we're going to investigate Egypt. And we're going to try to recreate those stones, because I don't believe they really cut and move those stones. They actually made those stones out of concrete.
For the pyramids?
Yes.
Okay.
Think about it. It would make more sense. You have all these theories about them floating the stones, but understand this. If you saw how large some of those stones were, it is mind-blowing. Now, I believe that they could move them if they wanted to, but how did they do it?
So you believe that they used a form and created them in place?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
It would only make more sense because, remember, some of those stones are carved or made where they have shapes and all of this. So now, not only did you have to move those stones, then you had to cut and shape them so they fit perfectly. Together.
Yes.
Perfect. That is mind-blowing. That's, but see, the academia, they usually say, well, this is done that way. Okay, well, what tools did they use? You're telling us that they didn't have actual metal. Yes, they did. Then, a magician thinks backwards. They aren't taking the right people.
Because they are what is that, reverse engineering?
Yeah, they're not reverse engineering anything. They're just saying how it was done. Everything is a tomb. Everything is a temple. All those people weren't religious. So you take engineers and you take magicians, because magicians work backwards. So I want to create a trick where I make a person's body move by just casting my shadow. how would I do that? Oh, I would do it this way. So we think different, out of the box, so to speak. So I'm going to take a team of magicians and a team of engineers to reverse engineer how we think it may have been done. And that also includes the large stone blocks in Pumapunku and the South America region too.
There's pyramids everywhere. Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah, those were actual satellite countries or satellites of Atlantis.
Which it makes a lot of sense, because when Atlantis fell, some people left and brought the knowledge to hide, not from everybody, but just to protect the knowledge that they had gained while that society was up and running.
Yeah. And you know, with the burning down the Library of Alexandria, God knows how much knowledge was lost.
Yeah, those were amazing feats. For you guys out there, the Library of Alexandria was not just a repository where somebody dropped off all these books. When the sailors would come in, their maps, their notes, their writings, everything was transcribed by
force.
Huh?
By force.
Yes.
And, oh, you got knowledge? We're taking it and we're going to write it down, and you're going to wait, and then you'll get your scrolls back. And that's how they did it.
Yes. And there was untold amounts of knowledge.
Yeah. And you know how they polished the stones, the granite slabs were probably actually made from some sort of a liquid, and they actually made it from that. So we're going to test all those theories, and when we do that, I'm going to put together a very large budget for that, you know, and I'm able to do that because I'm a TV producer, and we know how to raise money, you know, where to find it, you know.
Okay. So you did mention earlier that you were going to be doing a show. Tell me about that.
The show is called Paranormal Magic. So what we do is it starts off with a short horror film, and the horror film explains why I'm doing those type of tricks. And at the end of the show, I have a seance or seance or something spooky, you know, I'm actually performing voodoo or whatever the case may be.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So when is that scheduled to come out for the general public?
Well, we were going to film on the 8th, 9th, and 10th, but I'm still in the men, so I'm going to push it back 2 more weeks before we actually film. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to think that it will be out on Netflix around 2019, October 2019. It's a perfect month, October.
Oh, definitely. Oh, I'm so looking forward to that. Oh, that would just be grand. Oh,
thank you.
So proud of you.
Yeah, we're gonna do things like, I had this little clay figure. I figured out how to make this little clay figure come to life, but we wrote the backstory. If you read the Kabbalah, that with the clay figure is going to be a golem, and a golem. You know what that is?
Yeah, of course. But tell everybody. Okay, first we got to.
Most people don't know what that is. So a golem is a clay figure that was mythological to be brought to life by a rabbi for protection of Jewish people from in case of harm that they would receive. So I'm going to create a little clay figure and make it come to life and walk.
Wow. And you're going to be doing that on your show?
Yes. So any paranormal subject we're going to cover. We're going to do Jack the Ripper, Bloody Mary, voodoo. Yeah, it's like our opening statement will be, watch with the lights off, you know. Ooh. And then, so it's going to be creepy. Oh, creepy. Awesome. Oh, my favorite right now is is Dolly, where I'm going to show a haunted doll, and we put it in a little seance cabinet, and you can see her moving around in the in the cabinet behind the curtain. And I ask her questions, and she gets angry and kicks over her blocks. And then I ask people in the audience to everybody write down the name of somebody that's alive. And I choose one person to write down the name of somebody that's dead. And she rings a little bell when you call the person that's dead.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's gonna be amazing. No magic show has ever done that.
That's going to be so cool. So you're doing I don't know how, it's not like a movie so much. Is it like episode sort of thing, or is this like documentary style?
No, it's just episodes. It starts off with a short movie that's 1 to 3 minutes long, and that explains why I'm doing those types of tricks.
Okay.
So, for example, one episode will be about the gift and the curse. So it shows how I developed my ability as a child for psychic ability, And they took me to Gypsy, and she tested my abilities, and then they took me to scientists, and then I go into doing all this psychic stuff. And at the end of the show, I use what is it called? Leave my body.
Astral travel?
I'm sorry. Yes, thank you. God. Oh, couldn't pick it out. So astral project to do drawing duplication.
Oh.
So somebody's in another room drawing a picture, and I astral project to draw to duplicate.
Kind of like look over their shoulder so that you can go back. And,
exactly.
Oh, I like it.
Thank you. Yes. That's the premise of that, and like I said, that's never been done before.
So you got your whole team assembled. You guys you got your studio, everything.
I have literally over 100 people working on my project.
Awesome.
And some of the top magicians in the world, and my wife doesn't know. I'm taking her tonight to meet David Copperfield. So where I'll be. I used to work for David, so I'm going to ask him to be a part of the show where he'll be. I'm David Copperfield. Welcome to Paranormal Magic, that sort of thing,
Oh, okay, wait a minute. We have to investigate this. Hold on 1 second. I got to know about David Copperfield.
All right.
Hi there. No, I do. No, not today. Thank you. Oh, a pen? Paper? Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So I remember David Copperfield being on TV. So we have to talk about it.
And it's funny because the kids today don't know that he was the greatest magician and still is the greatest magician alive. And I showed some of his videos, so like, yeah, look at this. And they were like, well, those people are in on it. Dude, you're missing a point of how beautiful he's taking you away from belief. Oh my God, are you serious?
It's called suspension of disbelief, for those of you who are wondering. So, and all it is, when you watch a show, it doesn't matter what kind of show it is, but the show is attempting to get you to believe their point of view. And if you believe it even for a little bit, then they've got you with what's called suspension of disbelief. So he made like a building or something disappear that I saw years ago.
Statue of Liberty.
That's what it was. Yes.
Yeah.
That was fascinating.
Amazing. Yeah. I want to go see. A lot of magicians are saying, "Oh, he's lost his step." I want to see for myself, because I don't try and figure out what magicians do. Other magicians, even if I know how they did it, and you ask me, David, how did they do that? I'll say, I have no idea. And I know, but I want you to believe that what you saw was just unbelievable. You know, I mean,
But
doing this on stage.
how did you start working for David Copperfield? How did that happen?
I was introduced to him by a mutual friend named Jay Marshall. Jay Marshall, it was so old, he actually saw Harry Houdini perform when he was a kid.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, that's history, right? So
the younger generation has no idea who that is.
right, exactly. So, well, they know who Harry Houdini is. They've heard his name. It's unbelievable. All these years later, 80, 90 years later, they know who Harry is. But they don't know who the greatest living magician is of our time. They don't know. So for sake of relevance and to, well, I'm gonna say make myself look good, but to make me relevant, I would love to have David Copperfield open my show. So there's no guarantees, but I'm gonna ask him tonight.
Abracadabra. David Copperfield is hosting Paranormal Magic.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You know how cool that is? Oh my God. So have you ever seen any pictures of us together? Have you seen my pictures?
No, I did go on your site. I did read your about, but I have not seen any photographs of you and David together.
Yeah, go on my Facebook page. It's going to be like a who's who.
Okay.
Like I've done shows for Sherry Shepherd, shows for Babyface, shows for Twister. I've done shows for Tyler Perry, so, well, not Tyler Perry. He was there in the room, put it that way, but not for him specifically. So, it's, believe it or not, I'm a pretty famous magician, but I don't get the same breaks because I'm Black. So.
Okay. But that's okay. This is one of the things that I learned about being a person of color. Sometimes you just have to make your own way in life, and I'm okay with that.
Absolutely. I was talking to another magician, and they wanted to deny me performing at the libraries here in Las Vegas. It's a very racist town, believe it or not. Mm. So it was like, well, you say you have a TV show coming out. Why would you want to perform at the library anyway? That's way below your pay grade. Yeah, it's only $350, but I enjoy performing, period.
Yeah.
Period. And I would not take no for an answer because I'm Black, so I'm used to having to fight for everything anyway. Mm-hmm. So, it's their law. So if, like I told them I wanted to perform across the street, and the lady says to me, well, would you be more comfortable performing in an urban area? I live in a very affluent neighborhood, so I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was like, well, I'm the best person for the job. What are you talking about? Definitely. Now, to back that up, I was actually called one of the top 10 magicians by the you have to forgive my memory. I'm still having some memory issues, but I've got the newspaper casting, but I was called one of the top 10 magicians in the world by the newspapers, and my show was actually called one of the top 10 magic shows in Vegas. Now, it was named number 9, but still I made the list with David Copperfield. Wow. I started off, pitching him ideas, but I still made the same list. And the only reason my show was named number 9 out of 10 was because it was a small one-man show. So some people was complaining that, oh, it's no production value. But I had some of the best magic. So what are you talking about? So, little things like that. So, but I still made the list. Now, my show started running April 1st, 2017. By June 1st, think about that. April to June, it was called one of the top 10 shows in Vegas.
Wow. So did you move to Vegas, or have you always been in Vegas?
No, I moved to Vegas from Chicago. Okay. My wife wanted to follow my daughter out here and teach, she's a school teacher. My daughter and wife are school teachers. So I'm a lot older than I look. So I'm almost 60 years old.
No. Well,
yeah.
Don't crack.
That's right. So
my baby turned 29 a couple months ago.
Really?
Yeah.
My oldest will be 36 in two weeks, and my youngest is 31.
Wow, you look incredible. That's magic right there. Melanin is magic. I don't care what anybody says.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and I'm gonna take that same philosophy when I do my television show.
Definitely.
So, not bragging or anything like that, and nothing like that, but because I have to be careful, because I've accomplished so much in my 59 years that people take what I say as bragging. So I'm very cautious about that.
Definitely. No, it's not bragging, because it's just simply acknowledging that this is the way that we were made, and we were made this way for a reason. So to not enjoy that, it's just nonsense to me.
Yeah. I'm I've accomplished a lot. Like, I have 6 college degrees, and I'm working on my 7th. And I'm a 3-time world karate champion. I've, won the NBL National Black Belt League 3 times. And I was training to win my 4th when I got sick. So hopefully I can resume training for that.
Oh, you will. You're already well on the way to mending.
Yeah, I know, right? Even though I can hear a little bit of slurring in my speech, I can still hear it. Mm-hmm. Just imagine how it was 2 weeks ago. I was super articulate, and I know my subjects very well, So I'm in the point now that when I'm very cautious about what I say, because people take it as bragging. Oh, well, you did this and you've done that. How come you this and that?
You can't be in control of the way people take things. That's their own upbringing, and it's their own philosophies that get in their way. If we are to share knowledge with somebody and they can't handle it, that is not my problem. And I'm no longer, because I used to do it, I will not talk down to people. If you cannot understand the words coming out of my mouth, I cannot help you. Because this is the way I talk. This is who I am.
I love you. That's so awesome. Yes, that's so awesome. Thank you so much. Because I'm proud of the fact that I've accomplished a lot, and it's because of hard work and determination. Like, some people would call it bragging that I was able to get to this point. I'm like 90%, 95%. Yesterday was my first time driving. My wife was nervous because she doesn't drive, but she was, oh my goodness, stay over. And what I discovered was that my right hand causes the car to drift. So, because it's not as strong. So if I drive with only my left, I drive fine,
Mm-hmm. So. But you still have to keep practicing, because you got to get the muscle memory back.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. And I find myself using my right hand. I can eat with it. I couldn't eat with my right hand just a week ago. Wow. So it's like, I'm gonna get 100% better. Abracadabra.
Yes.
Or kumbaya kum.
I love it.
I love that.
I tell you, and I have to solidify this. You talking about your life story, that's not bragging. Yes, you've done some amazing things. And
thank you, Doc.
From this perspective, it's inspiring, because it tells me that, we are out here. We are educated. We are loving people. We have families. We have dreams. We have hopes. We have goals, completely different than what society says.
I'm still deciding that if I'm going to run for president or governor one day.
Okay.
I mean, awesome. That's not off the table. Mm-hmm. That is not off the table.
Yeah, do it. I mean, the truth of the matter is, people of color do have longer lifespans when we watch our diets. We don't age like everybody else does. And it is, you could be here for 150 years. you know, on these living diets. That's not unheard of.
On the according to the book of Timothy, longer than that.
Definitely, yes. Are you familiar with the OSP?
The OSP. I think I've heard of that.
It's a very deep, esoteric text about Jehovah and his emissaries. And it came into being in the desert in 1882. And it is a guidebook about what we do, about hearing, feeling the essence of our Creator.
Now that you mentioned, I have heard of it, but I've never studied or read from it.
Definitely, it's deep. It's very, very deep. But I want to check out the book of Timothy and see where that takes me.
That is deep.
So
that's the best way.
A question
deep.
About Bigfoot.
Yes.
When I was growing up, they always said they were looking for fur, for scat, any signs of a Bigfoot nest. Do you believe that there is hair or fur?
We're looking for any evidence, and there has been hair and fur, but the conspiracy to make sure that Bigfoot isn't found is the reason it is they believe that if they find that Bigfoot exists or acknowledge it, they won't be able to tear down forests and things of that nature. So it's economic reasons behind it. So
to keep it secret. But although we're tearing down their homeland.
However, I found out, you ready for this? It's a federal crime to shoot one.
Oh.
So
somebody's acknowledging it.
Right. So it's a federal crime to shoot an animal or a being that doesn't exist.
Huh.
How was that? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
That takes it right out of mythology and right into, I mean, they don't make laws about things that don't exist. Because I don't think I've ever seen a no unicorn shooting law. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. The unicorn was a mythical creature that was supposed to have been thrown off of Noah's Ark.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the unicorn was supposed to really existed.
Thrown off of Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
Why?
They didn't have room for it, or whatever the case may be. I forget, but it was.
So that's why they don't exist.
Right. It was supposed to have been wiped out by flood.
Oh, how funny!
Yeah, no, that sounds so crazy, but when I get a chance to talk to other academics, they don't think I'm crazy. I'm just spewing facts. The unicorn was actually supposed to have been thrown off of Noah's Ark.
Well, see, in the search for Bigfoot, it seems to me that if this is more humanoid creature, then there is no fur. If it's more humanoid, this being is covered in hair.
That's true. However, we are going to look for it and trap it.
Okay. So explain to me what you said about Todd Standing, because he's doing a whole court case attempting to get protection. But why is he trying to get protection if it's already federally protected? There's some things that are not meshing there.
Yeah, the Bigfoot Society don't like him. They think he is faking evidence, and like he had the apples sitting on the log. Did you ever see that?
I did. I saw the apples. Yeah.
And then turned the apples back around, and they were gone. And my thing is this: why is everybody saying that they've had contact in this and that, but nobody has trapped one? No one has brought one back. I want to be the guy who actually brings back proof. I want to be the guy who actually brought back King Kong. cinematic, if you understand what I'm saying. You know, I want to be the guy who provides a living alien. You know, the guy who proves or disproves how the Egyptians cut those stones and move those massive rocks. You know, I want to be the guy.
So you're looking to just crack reality open and go, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. If I'm the president, I promise you this: I'm going to be the guy who reveals UFOs.
Oh, I know. I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going right there.
Yeah, but I'm straight up. You know, the reason why the president doesn't have access to those files is because they look at the president as a temporary employee, and he doesn't need to know. Because we could have a new president in 4 years, and that's why he doesn't get the access to those files. So if they took that term limitation off of 4 years, or 8 years rather, 2 terms, the president will be read in on the reason why. But I think there's a way around that. You know?
Definitely.
And yeah, they will be willing to kill me for it, but that's okay. I'm all right with that. You know, okay, cool. Nobody else has had the gumption to do it.
No, I disagree on that note, because I think Kennedy was on that verge. And I do believe in multiple timelines, and I do believe, because I can see certain things that have changed, and I do believe that there were timelines where he did expose it and it didn't go right. You know, I mean, I'm a person, and I've never said this on film before, I saw something in the sky, and what I saw was a rectangular something at night, and it like phased in, and I saw a rainbow halo around it, and then it phased back out, and I was just standing there like, it's a
well shit. In 1993, I saw a glowing red orb that flew from one side of the horizon, and it made a almost a right turn, and it was over a car, and I was in the car with my girlfriend, her cousin. It was myself, so it was 3 of us, and it was they wrote about it in the newspaper too. But I mean, man, it was like from one side of the horizon side in a blink of an eye. Wow. So, you know, you think about this. There is no way that this universe could be the size that it is. The scientists believe there are more stars in the sky than there are grains of sand on the earth, on all the beaches of the earth.
There's no way we're here by ourselves.
There is no way. And just because we don't have the technology to go to different galaxies or go to different planets, who says that they don't know? Who says that they don't? You know, I mean, think about that. You know, just the idea of us saying, man, I wonder if anybody can travel from one side of the galaxy to the other. That thought alone means that we can do it.
Well, and the thought alone about thinking about other people out there.
That's right. Means that they exist. Exactly. And they're probably looking up saying, oh, those are the earthlings. There's hairless apes, you know, or I wonder if anybody exists somewhere else, you know. They probably know that we're here, and they've just have us secluded, you know, or they've been here alone and they're working with a government. So, you know, and now there's this narrative that, oh, the people that come from other planets are the real demons. Here we go. You know, now, anyway.
Well, anybody that comes from outside of Earth is not going to believe in Jesus Christ. So you can spin that all sorts of ways. Okay.
Yeah.
I take a very multidimensional, it's just the way my mind can process it. I believe that each one of us, we were made in every incarnation, that we were white, black, Asian, terrestrial, non-terrestrial, to see what we would do out here and have these experiences. I don't think that these people are so-called strangers. I think that they're other versions of us. And whether or not we can handle that face-to-face meeting is up to us individually. Because I've got memories and things that are going on that I can't deny that I have met other people.
Yeah. Now let me tell you this: those people, we are only been not believing the Earth is unflat for 700 years.
Mm-hmm.
Only 700. Now just think, they think that the universe is almost 14 billion years old, 13 point something 5 billion years old. So just round it off and call it 14 billion. Just imagine if they were to develop within the last billion years. That's still the last hour of the existence of the universe. And we've only been here 200, 300, a million years. That's the last second.
Mm-hmm.
So if those people were able to develop and become intelligent over 1 billion years, God knows how much technology they have.
Oh yeah.
And also, switching the subject a little bit, your memories, we've discovered in psychology, and this was just written in the report, that memories are generational. So
yes.
yeah, so yeah, that's where I think phobias come from.
Mm-hmm.
Things that happened in the past that were passed down genetically through you to make your children's children have phobias.
And specifically within the mitochondrial DNA.
Absolutely.
So with what I do, I am what's called a quantum healing hypnotherapist. So when I put somebody into that deep trance state, because they're having an issue in this life, and a perfect example of just what you said, I had this wonderful client where she was feeling very apathetic about life, never felt she was going to be in love, had no desire to have children. She just felt like she was here and didn't know why she was here and wasn't very happy about it. We go into trance. You okay?
Yeah.
We go into trance, and then she begins to recall. Oh my God, I see it. I see it now. I killed him. I shot him. It was a horrible, horrible accident. She and her lover were at home. A gun discharged. She accidentally killed him. In her own grief, she took her own life. And that 20-minute of reworking that memory and seeing it from this perspective helped her life here.
They what's the name of it? Religion. By L. Ron Hubbard,
Scientology.
Scientology. They do a thing called, they call it clearing.
Yes.
I'm here to let you know that clearing actually works and is a technique that psychologists use.
Okay.
So it's not just L. Ron Hubbard's, he took that from psychology and made it his own.
Definitely.
I don't know why it became more popular under him, but it's a technology or a technique.
They pushed for it. And in order to get church status, they had to have members, they had to have income, and they had to keep doing what they were doing. And he wanted to maintain that lifestyle.
Yeah. That clearing, would help people with those memories. Yeah.
And for a long time, people thought hypnosis was hokey. And I'm one of those people too. Like, I was truly a skeptic. But now I'm seeing it and I'm hearing it. And I'm having these experiences to actually watch a person take a breath, and they're no longer that person that walked through my door. They're somebody else. That's not something that they're making up in that state.
Yeah, I do hypnosis also. More of for entertainment purposes,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm an expert at making suggestions, for those things to happen. You got to watch some of my videos. It's like, what,
Yeah, I
you
do. I
you'd be
do.
surprised some of the things I'm able to accomplish. But when we're gonna do a whole show dedicated, or two actually dedicated to hypnosis.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I
With
wish you
me
so
going to
much
see
luck.
Dr. Dante. Huh?
I said, I wish you so much luck with all your projects, and we are running out of time. Do you have any last words for the people out there watching?
I'm just so proud and that you would ask me to be on your show. And a lot of people were like, a doctor and a metaphysician and a magician, So it's too bad I wasn't able to show anything, but you will get to see what I do. Those people, your fan base, and so on and so forth. And thank you, for asking me to be on here, because we met on the International Metaphysicians group or
Yes.
whatever.
Mm-hmm. IMM, yes.
Yeah, IMM. And, so I just wanted to thank you for that.
And thank you for being here. I ask people, sometimes they don't show up. So thank you for showing up for me. And
Yeah.
thank the audience, everybody for watching. I hope you've truly learned something today. And your awakening is real. You are not going crazy. The best advice I can give you is study what your heart desires. It doesn't matter how silly it may seem. It doesn't matter how old it might seem. Study what you love and go forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Doctor.
Thank you, Dr. David.